Gaither for HBCU Gameday.com. Thank you guys for coming on to this quick Periscope. Sorry it took a little while, but I had to make sure got on the right gear. See the Gameday shirt, it is available for purchase. Don't judge me because it's not iron, but whatever. So the reason why we're here today is to talk about some of the comings and goings in HBCU football. Just came back from media day at the MEAC in Norfolk. It was a really good day. Got a good chance to see all the coaches face to face, talk to them. Got a chance to meet some of the players, really great personalities and all that good stuff. But of course, the one thing that everyone wanted to talk about was the Celebration Bowl. For those of you who don't know, the Celebration Bowl is the new bowl game for the MEAC and SWAC champions. The MEAC has decided to give up its automatic playoff bid as the SWAC did a while back, so that these two teams could play this game. And since it was announced since we broke the news in December, and since it was announced later in the year, it's been very controversial in some circles, and it's been very well welcomed in some circles. It's pretty fascinating. Basically, it's kind of along the lines of your conference affiliation. Those who support the SWAC and are familiar with the SWAC and in that part of the country, they're really excited about the Celebration Bowl, looking at the money aspect of it, the exposure aspect of it, because it is going to be on ABC. That was announced a little bit earlier last month. And so they're really looking forward to it. The MEAC folks, it's really been interesting to see their reaction from start to finish, because a lot of the people that are around the conference or alumni or different things like that, very skeptical at first. I mean, and when I say skeptical, that's being nice. Some people just aren't feeling it. They feel like that the MEAC is giving up a chance at a national title, which a lot of them think will actually hurt them in the long run. And so it's been an interesting discussion, because whenever you say that, the Celebration Bowl, since it's been out, has always been basically a war between the MEAC and the SWAC. Fought on message boards, not on the football field. But I mean, it's crazy. The MEAC people, they really feel like not playing for national championships is going to hurt the caliber of players that they recruit, and they think that it's going to make them take a step back. SWAC folks differ. Obviously, they've been having the champion. They opted out of the playoffs, I think, back in 1999. They never won a playoff game. The MEAC has not won a playoff game in this millennium. They haven't won since '99. FAMU went to the national semis. A&T beat Tennessee State. So, it's been a long drought for them as well. So neither conference has won a playoff game since 1999. But the MEAC folks, a lot of them will argue that, there's always a possibility, and what if there's that one team that could make a run at a national championship, is it worth giving it up for money? Well, I guess that's going to have to be it's just going to be interesting to see the results. We have to get through, obviously, this football season. We're going to have to see who comes out of the SWAC, who comes out of the MEAC. It'll be interesting to see the attendance. They do have ESPN backing it, so I think the big thing is going to be viewership, and I think people will tune in. See, Coach Howell says he agrees with the SWAC. It'll help both conferences. Financially, it definitely will. I mean, that's one thing that the coaches kept harping on at the MEAC was just the financial thing, but also, the exposure. Now that it's going to be on ABC, that's the kind of exposure that you really don't get for Black college football, except for the Bayou Classic. But speaking of the Bayou Classic, broke the news yesterday that the Bayou Classic is moving to NBC Sports Network. It's been on NBC for the longest, and that's how a lot of people like myself came in to know about the rivalry. But now it's going to be on NBC Sports Network, which is a cable network, which means you have to have cable to get it. In all honesty, if you want to see the game, you'll be able to see it. Most people have cable or can get to that access to that network, or they know someone that can. But I think what's really gonna what's really going to be interesting is, you're going to miss a lot of that casual audience that you get on NBC. I think at that time of the year, it's really like I think most of the FBS conferences have had their championship games, or it's just it's unique. Like, you come across it. I mean, and honestly, being from North Carolina, I came across it one day, and I saw it, and so you learn about it, and you get, and that type of exposure for HBCUs is critical. But you're not going to be able to get that even with the Bayou Classic, not with it being on the sports network. I mean, you're going to have to be unless you're a sports fan, you go right past that. I mean, and hell, most sports fans probably don't even know what channel the NBC network is, so they're going to have to look for it. So you're cutting out a lot of that audience. We ranked it last week as our #1 classic. I know a lot of the folks down in Alabama were not too happy about that. Magic City folks were up in arms, but we stand by that. But thanks for reading, everybody. By the way, if you haven't checked out our top 10 classics, make sure you check that out. So yeah, that's going to be missing that key audience. So we're gonna see. I mean, it'll be a shame because someone says they think BCU is good enough to win a playoff game. Any given Sunday, any given Saturday, anyone can win. BCU has been in the playoffs a couple times and they haven't won. I mean, it's you can always make that argument, and certainly there are probably going to be some teams that have the potential, but I guess it comes down to whether or not the conferences are willing to gamble. I guess the conferences felt like it wasn't worth the gamble of the guaranteed money that the schools were going to get from ESPN. So I think it remains to see how that plays out. So yeah, so now we've got the Celebration Bowl is going to be the game that's going to get that the casual fans will see, because it will be on a Saturday. It will be, anyone has it. I mean, everyone has ABC. That was a big thing. When they said ESPN, that could have meant a lot of things. That could have meant ESPNU. That could have been ESPN3. That could have meant ESPN2. A lot of things. But when they put it into ABC, I mean, that's big. I mean, that's in everyone's house. Magic City Classic is the best. I know they have, attendance numbers are crazy. We had a big, long discussion over that last night about the Celebration Bowl, about the Magic City Classic, about the Bayou Classic, all of that good stuff. So make sure you check our timeline. And then also 2 new additions that are going to be on ESPN. We just learned recently. One is going to be Howard and Hampton, the Nations Football Classic on September 18th, I believe it is. We're planning on being at that game, so it should be good. It's always that real HU rivalry, called the Bougie Bowl, but that's just me. But no, it should be a good time. It's going to be in DC on a Friday night, so that's going to be cool, and it's going to be on ESPN, ESPN3, I believe. So. ESPNU. So that'll be on there, so people will get a chance to see that rivalry up close, which I think is going to be a good thing. Hopefully, that'll be packed out. We'll see how it goes on a Friday night for a college football game. So we'll see. And then also today we got the news that Tuskegee and Winston-Salem State are going to be on ESPN. I think it's 3. Yeah, ESPN3 on the next day, September 19th. So that's going to be a full weekend, because you're going to have the Nations Classic on the 18th. You're going to have, I think, Southern and Jackson State are going to play on one of the ESPN networks on that Saturday, and then also Winston-Salem State and Tuskegee. MEAC and the SWAC, they're Division I, so they have deals. Consistently, they're on, they're on ESPN a couple times a year. But for the SIAC from Tuskegee and the CIAA WSSU, you don't really get that type of ESPN level exposure very often. So that's a big deal. Those 2 teams have developed a bit of a rivalry over the last couple of years. Winston-Salem State has beaten them the last 2 years. First in the Cleveland Classic back in 2013, and then last year at Winston-Salem State. But I was at that game. It was a close game. The game was, close. It could have gone either way. a couple plays here or there. So that should be a good matchup. And Tuskegee and Winston-Salem State are both favored to win their conferences. They're both favored to win their conferences, but Winston-Salem State is going to have a very inexperienced team, and they're going to be down on the road, down there at the Shed. And everybody who knows about the site has checked out the video about what goes on in the Shed. So it's going to be an interesting atmosphere out there. CIAA, SIAC, so that's big for them. Story of the last couple of days, you're seeing ESPN jump on the HBCU bandwagon. Just for a guy like me who follows HBCUs all year, obviously, and really cares about them, it's cool. It's cool because, we used to have BET and they used to, broadcast the games and, a game every week. But it's just going to be interesting to see how much effort ESPN puts into it. We've seen some of the games in the past, and I've remarked this. A lot of them just, I see them, they have the ESPN print, but they don't look ESPN quality. Camera quality, the replays are slow. There's a lot of things that they do, and I feel like, if they're gonna have to, if they really want to make it something that's presentable, I think they really, I really hope that they don't just stick for just being happy to be on ESPN. So hopefully they, get us some faster replays, get us some better cameras at the game or something, or the feeds, increase the feeds or something. But so we've got that going on. A lot of great stuff on the site. Still pouring through the content from the MEAC press conference. Got an one-on-one interview with Latrell Scott from Norfolk State. Also one-on-one with Cotto Maynor. You're going to hear from coaches like Alec Wood, FAMU, Lee Hull at Morgan State. Jerry Mack, North Carolina Central. So we tried to talk to as many people as we could. It was a great event. Had a great time. And thanks to our sponsors, Cloud and Williams, PLL. I know I messed up the abbreviation at the end, but they're lawyers. They're great lawyers in Charlotte. If you ever have any trouble, check them out and tell them HBCU Gameday sent you. Then obviously HBCU Digest. Jared Carter and those guys do a great job, and we definitely appreciate their support. So always looking for sponsors for our weekly college football show that we're planning to put out starting in a couple weeks. So any HBCU business people that definitely make sure they send us an email, and let's talk. Well, just wanted to talk to you guys really briefly. I'm going to go ahead and hit the road, but appreciate you guys for interacting. Make sure you follow us on Periscope. I'm guessing you are because you're watching us. And make sure you share this and keep the conversation going.